alive. Happy Friday, beauties. So happy to be back on live with all of you. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you that comes online live for us with these conversations, and also for each one of you that listen to let's see. Oh, I believe I need to give accept. Yes. And we're on. Hello.
Hi, Adriana. Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to be
Always.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always happy to see your face. Like really, all the people, all the persons that I've had in my IG lives in these conversations, I am really happy to see their faces, because sometimes we have a conversation, but we're not always face to face. So happy to have you here. And I was saying before you come on live that I'm so grateful for each and everybody, each and every person that comes a little bit, stay a little bit on the live or watch the replay, and whatever, like something that, a moment, a second, a word that touched their heart. It's priceless for me. It's like really deep gratitude for everyone.
Mm.
Thank you for being here.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
Can
so
you?
grateful
Yeah.
to be here, Adriana. And also, I just want to tell you that I've loved watching your lives, and it's been so nice to see you on with people that I know as well. And I can tell that this is just something that really comes from your heart. I think you just do such an amazing job in these conversations, and so grateful that you asked me to join you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your words. And yeah, I'm so happy to have you here. We had another discussion. You probably recognize Aneta, because
Yeah.
like when I started the challenge and I decided the challenge, the 30 days challenge, I believe it was in August. I didn't know if I could go live with somebody overseas, and you were the one that was on point and like, let's do it. And it worked so well. I'm so excited. But before I say anything about you, so I really appreciate, for everyone that watching, your soul, the kindness that you have, the fact that you're always coming with such a loving presence and energy, and your wisdom and your knowledge. And now, please present yourself a little bit more than before.
Oh, sure, no problem. And I will actually say the first time we came on live was an accident because I didn't realize that by pressing that I wanted to join that I was going to come live with you. So it was more impromptu, which was actually even sweeter and funny and shows you how much I know about Instagram. But my name is Aneta Ardelian Kuzma, and Adriana and I know each other because we're in the same mastermind and we're in the same pause breathwork facilitator program. And so lucky that we got to meet each other then. But, about 5 years ago, I left the corporate world. I started my own coaching and consulting business. And my passion is working with professionals and entrepreneurs and healers, light workers who really want to make an impact in this world. And I love to help them get unstuck, to awaken to their life's full potential, to dream big dreams, and then to take aligned action to design the lives that they want to live, because I know we're going to talk a little bit about today is this idea of devotion and discipline, something that we talk about in our mastermind a lot. And I do think that that is definitely one of the secrets for all of us to living a well-lived life.
Yeah. So I'm going to start by saying something. She wrote a book as well. So Elisa here. And after, like, I want to say that everything that you said, like your mission statement, your the way you want to impact the world, it's so aligned with who you are and so true for everybody that will be watching this. If you are stuck, not just in your, like really in your life, and I'm not saying this lightly, this is so true, because I can see the impact that you have on me when we have discussions, and the fact that it's, it's not because we are together in the mastermind and the programs, the container that we have been together exactly because we want to have a life, go combine the masculine with the feminine, and also to be fun and easy. It's everything, it's hard in a way when you don't know it, but you choose your heart. And the fact what you're doing, like really aligning everything, holding that container, that gifted masculine container, and knowing and let your feminine flow, and knowing what you say in a way for people to like a little light inside of them, just to wake up and start taking action. And this is not easy. This is not easy at all, because in my opinion, this is the hardest things to do, because you can dream and do the meditations and do all the things, but in the moment you need to take the action and then to follow up into that, and even more and having with excitement. It's so difficult to do that, and you are guiding us with so much love and so much light, and it's your mission, and probably it's going to expand more and more because you can hold a lot, but it is like on point, and I wanted to really put this here.
Thank you. And it's been a lot of trial and error in my life, right? I think back to the corporate days, and I would have my devotion, which was all the things I did in the morning, my prayers, my time with God, my meditation, my journaling, my yoga, all of those things. And then I would go off to a job and was super disciplined and took action, but it was not aligned to me, to who I was, to the things that were most important. And when you do that, when you are spending so much time in the discipline and the masculine energy, taking action, working so hard, you get burned out. And if you spend all your time just in the feminine, right, and the activities that feel so good, but you take no aligned action, you're stuck. You don't go anywhere. You don't. And so when I work with professionals, it's interesting because I bring in more devotion. I bring in more of that feminine energy so that they are spending more time with themselves, with reflection, with their creator. And when I work with healers and spiritual workers and light workers, I spend more time helping them take the aligned action in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming, that allows them to take their vision and bring it to life. And it really is that marrying of the two things that is so beautiful and so special when you can find it in your own life. And that's where you find that balance, that integration that we're all looking for.
Yeah. And I'm going to speak from experience, my own experience. So I am good with action, but in an area that I feel comfortable. So let's say in my husband's business, with my brother's business, it was easy back in Romania, the jobs that I had. But in the moment, because this I can see a lot on healers, facilitator, and people in general that come back home to themselves and start that process of healing. You go in a loop of always healing, or just being like in that energy that you said, it's so beautiful and you feel so good. And that then to take action can be really tricky. It's like you're going to take a little bit of action here and there, and then you're going to stop and again. But I love the fact that God, in a way, and I'm going to say this because this is what I feel, you really listen to the whispers and the voices, or like your intuition and everything that comes from the universe and source and God into you. Because you've been so many years in those really masculine container at your job, and then to really listen to your intuition and your soul and come back to you and untangling both the feminine that was inside of you and is part of you. I'm pretty sure like it always been there, probably, I believe. And then to combine that and really pouring into the world and to people from both sides, like you said, healers and leaders, so they can come together and come together in oneness with themselves, and then come back home and do the things that they enjoy in a way that they enjoy it, whatever that means.
I do believe and I'll use the word God because that's what feels comfortable for me, and you can substitute that for whatever feels good for you. But I do believe that God intends for us to live an integrated life, to be able to be in communion with source, with God, with our soul, and also be able to live our faith out in our everyday lives. And when we have that separation, when we're not able to do it, when we don't feel like we can fully, I think that's when we start to feel a little bit of resistance. We start to feel pain. We start to feel uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable starting to live that way at the beginning, isn't it? When we are, and to be able to even talk about faith and spirituality and these things in a world that has been so secular for so long. But I do see that more and more people, especially in entrepreneurship and business, are starting to make the correlation between how can you be a spiritual being and bring that and your faith into creating businesses that are coming from the soul, not just from the mind.
Yeah. And this is beautiful. I believe in God, and I'm using the term because this is something that I truly believe. But it is like, I remember being a little girl back in Romania when like spiritual and spirituality was so attached to religion. It was actually the same thing.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like maybe until 2 years ago, in my mind and in my subconscious mind, it was that. And now I'm like, no, I can be a spiritual human being, and I go to the church whenever I feel like going to the church, and I'm always like praying in the car wherever I am. I've always been like this. And for me, seeing people now coming more and more back home to them, like really, I had 2 months ago a run in the park, or probably 3 months ago, and I was almost crying of gratitude and being so happy that I have arrived. I felt like, oh, the little child inside of me was spiritual, feeling good and aligned and like hold by God. And then I had my family, and I have my kids, and I have my husband, and we are building things because this is something that I enjoy very much. And I search in a partner to have someone with whom I can build things. I probably have it. I already had it in me since forever, but with my husband, just came to the surface because it was a space where I can like let go and just be me. And I love the way you put it, like more and more people are coming back and they understand that they can be successful, and they can be spiritual, and they can heal, and they can do all the things because it's part of us, each and one of us.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love that you talked about gratitude too, because I was just listening to Sam Skelly's podcast, the one from this week, yesterday. And she talked about not just doing a gratitude journal, or not just taking time in the morning or the evening to go through gratitude as a task, but how can you live that out every day as you're walking around? Be so present, be so mindful, be so completely centered and grounded, where you live in a state of gratitude and appreciation. And when we are able to do that, of course, we feel like we're enough. We feel like we have enough. We feel like there's a feast before us every single day. And it starts to change from that constant desire for more, for striving, and to say, wow, like everything I have today, there are things that I have right now that once were a wish, that once were a dream, that's something I'd wanted. And as humans, we're a little fickle, right? It's like Christmas morning where we tear all the paper off the gifts, and we chase that feeling of opening the gifts. But what if you can have that every single day, from the time you wake up till the time you go to sleep? You just see yourself like that with all the gifts that are already here. I mean, I think that is part of the key to really being grateful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love this about you, that you're searching in a way the magic in everything and in every single moment. And the fact that I'm going to share something that Aneta shared with me and the ladies in the mastermind, that each and every night, but I want you to share it. I just wanted to say, you please, can you share it, how you set the intention before going to sleep? And
yeah. So one of the things that's great, so the thoughts that you have before you go to sleep are what your mind ruminates on all night long. So the mind is very much like a computer program. And so many people struggle sleeping, or they, wake up with worries and the things that we typically think about. But if you're intentional, and if if you're married, you have a partner, you have your children, etc., just say, what are you most proud of? And ask, what are you most grateful for? Think about the 3 things you're most grateful for before you go to sleep, and have that conversation and go to sleep with a gratitude. You will wake up in the morning with that feeling. You will then wake up in the morning and say, gosh, today's such a beautiful day. I'm so grateful. I woke up. I have the breath in my lungs. I've been given another day. I had a warm bed, a great sleep, etc. But you can do that with anything. One of the other things, if you're struggling with something, or you have something on your mind and you're worried, and you want your mind to be able to work on it, you can set an intention and say, really, this is something that's been heavy on my heart, and I would love for my subconscious mind connected with God to help me really find a way and figure this out. So many times I wake up with answers that I didn't have just by asking myself the right questions.
Yeah, this is so powerful. And you hear this everywhere.
Yeah.
Like on YouTube, if you go, you hear everywhere. But the moment you have in front of you a person that really embody that, it's so different. This is why community and having support, like a mentor or a group of people that are like, they have the same dreams. Don't share your dreams with everybody. Don't share
Right.
your business with everybody. Don't like go in the places, like for everybody watching. And thank you for being here again. We're talking about feminine and masculine energy, gratitude, and a couple of tools that you can implement and then really embody and integrate it in your life. There are not just words. Like you said with gratitude, it becomes part of you, and you're gonna see the world through different lenses. When I started practicing gratitude, so I have Intelligent Change. It's a company from Mimi and Alex Icahn that I started following probably 6 years ago, when all this social media and the coaching world and mentorship for me was at very, very beginning. And I had probably 4 of this gratitude journal that I've been using, and I finished them. And I manifested the house that we built, and and we are living now in that house through that, like each and every morning. And I will always start with, I'm grateful for being alive and healthy, because for me, probably everybody here knows that my sister died. She was very young and 32 years old. And for me, I don't take it for granted, like never. This is something that when you live that, when you go through that, you cannot forget that, and it's going to be always ingrained in your cells. And I've started with that, like I'm grateful that I'm alive and I'm healthy and I'm happy. And then was like, I'm grateful for the house, the trip, that whatever, because I knew from them as well, like Mimi Icahn and Alex Icahn, that you can attract and you can be grateful for the things that you want to attract. You can write down the things or say out loud, if that works for you, the things that you desire, you already have in your life, and the ones that you want to attract. And I've done this a year probably, since we like until the point where I found the land and I've started all the process to having that house. Yeah. And I wanted to say that you really embody that. And the more what, like, maybe you can give like a tip for the people that are like, oh, these are just words. I cannot do that. How can I set the intention? My thoughts are just rumbling around in my head. I cannot bring myself back. At the beginning, let's say, now we know about breath work and all of that, how you come to a place of stillness and then like really train your brain and your mind to focus on that intention.
Yeah, it's not easy, right? Because as you said, sometimes our mind is so active and our thoughts are so active, and we stop ourselves before we even dream or hold a vision sometimes because we worry about, I can't do that. How will I do it? And we're focusing just on ourselves. We believe we have to sort of build this house by ourselves, right? And so I think that the practices that work for me is definitely being still in meditation, prayer, journaling, which gets a lot of morning pages, which gets a lot of noises out of my head, breath work, when it's, is a fast way to sort of drop into the body and get out of our thinking mind. Our intuition, and what do you want to call it? Intuition or discernment or wisdom or the Holy Spirit within you. We have guidance and we have it. It's all within. And if you look at any religious scriptures, they talk about this. If you can stop focusing on the external world enough to go internally and listen and really get quiet, you will get a lot of the answers. And from there, that's when you just ask yourself, what does this look like? What are these desires? What are the dreams that are on my heart? They came from somewhere. And you with practice can decide whether it's something that the ego wants or something that your spirit wants. And it's easy to work with someone else to help guide you through this. I guide my clients through it. And then just hold that vision, like really allow yourself to say, wouldn't it be cool? And what does that look like? What does that life look like? When I hired my coach and I was in the corporate world and very unhappy and burned out and loved my personal life, but work, I didn't feel like it was tied to my
Yeah.
life, my mission, like what I really should do, working with the coach helped me. And the vision that came out of me, Adriana, I didn't have any of those things. Like none of it existed. It was very overwhelming and scary to say, how do I get from where I am to there?
Mm.
But you have to start with that vision and you hold that vision true. And then define what are the aligned actions that you can take. And then I also say, you don't have to do this alone. This is where
Yeah.
you rely on your faith, you rely on your community, and you allow a little bit of dependence. And it is very scriptural too. There's a lot of Bible verses that talk about asking, believing, and then receiving. And so asking through prayer, believing deep in your heart that it already has been done when you said the prayer, and then patiently waiting. I think a lot of times we're not so patient in the waiting.
Yeah.
And we expect everything that we seek to happen today, but it doesn't. We have to be patient with divine timing as well for a lot of our manifestations.
Yeah. I love the fact that you say that we are not alone, and you said it this twice probably, and
Yeah.
this really, because I tend to do that. I'm like, for a couple of reasons from my childhood, I've always been the one trying to be the responsible. I took it upon myself, even though my parents didn't say anything, but the situation was a certain way in my house. There probably a part of me, even being a child, felt that I needed to come in front and do the things and
Right.
hold the space or be the kindest one, I don't know, all the things. And now, because I'm so used to be so independent, I take a lot on me still sometimes.
Yeah.
But even more now, hearing you, I I don't think of I believe in God. I believe in community. I'm reaching for support, but still a part of me, it's there that believes that I need to do it. And then
Right.
love that you said it multiple times. So we are not alone.
We're
We
not.
are not. You have the community, you have God, you have your intuition, you have your guides, you have your angels, whatever it is that you believe in, friends, family members that you really trust and can hold the space for you, because this is important. Don't put your energy and your faith on your trust. This may seem harsh, but it's true on
Mm-hmm.
anybody and everybody. Like, be selective and put the boundaries there, because sometimes it's just going to backfire, and you want to really be conscious about all the things that you do, so you can arrive to this place that Aneta said, where you can be in stillness, you can breathe a little bit, or maybe move your body, or shake the
Yeah.
energy, shift the energy from the body. If you really desire to live that life of peace and fulfillment and doing the things a certain way, the way that you want, it's not easy, but it comes with practice and with responsibility, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and with fun.
Yeah.
Like, let's see whatever it is in my heart, and see if exactly what you said about what vision you had at the beginning when you finished, like you wanted to finish your
Yeah.
corporate career. And like mine also were crazy, like coming from a family that didn't have a lot, and all of the sudden I want this and that, and I want to travel the world. And for, I don't know, I probably went out of Romania when I was in my university years,
Mm-hmm.
and then I traveled everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, was like a whoop. Yeah, it is crazy a little.
Well, it is. And the other thing too is you mentioned the word community. And so I think that within our mastermind in our community, there's about 35, 40 of us women. And I think we're finally now coming to the point where even Sam had a conversation with us and said, going back to this notion of you don't have to do it
Mm,
alone, is there are things that you are really good at that I'm not good at. And there are
yeah,
things that I'm really good at that maybe you want some help with. And now that we are actually all relying on each other and spending time with one another and asking for the help, with many of us are not very good at asking. We're
yeah,
all feel like we have to do it alone and independent, and it's a sign of weakness somehow. And we're discovering, like, wow, in an hour I was able to make such progress, and then let me offer you my services, let me add value to you. All of that is for the greater good. You
mm,
see that when we are not alone and we are able to depend on someone else and ask for the assistance, not only are we able to show up in the world bigger because we're not stuck, but then we're also able to help elevate one another and to build that community. And so it's been super amazing and beautiful to be part of a community, because it can be lonely being an
yeah,
entrepreneur. You could be stuck in your office by yourself a lot of times, or then going out and networking. But it's been quite amazing with this group to actually be able to rely on these other people. And I've said this over and over again, I've never been in a container, a community with 35, 40 women. There's zero competition. There is zero drama. There is nothing but love and support. And it comes, of course, from Sam,
Yes.
because she would never tolerate anything else. But that in and of itself has been just one of the most beautiful experiences that I've ever had.
Yeah, for me as well. I have been in other containers, and not like this one. No, because this just changed my life. But it is about the leader that you have, like the one that dictates and set the energy and the vision for the container, and it's so dedicated and disciplined, exactly what you said before, with how she wants the container to be, and how the interaction and the energy and the help and the exactly the community to come together and to elevate each other. And this is something that maybe if you want to bring, I want to bring it and to have your opinion a little bit, for like, because I have a 12 years old a girl, like our girl. I'm curious for what's your opinion for the generations that are coming? Because in my opinion, what I see, they want everything and fast, because everything is fast now with the internet, with the telephones, with everything that you have. It's like that instantly, that gratification. I want to have this and mom is going to give me, or la la la, or, and they are really talented. You can see that even more with all the information that they have, but it's something it's lacking, in my opinion. And sometimes, like, really being over your kids all the time, and like being so close to them and explaining everything, in my honest opinion, is making them a little bit weak, because it's just too much, and you don't let them really live and make the space and room for make mistakes and really come together and learn things. For us was different, because the parents were at work all the time almost, because they need it, and then you just need to you needed to do the things with your brothers, your sister, your neighbors in the how you say, in the apartment we used to live in, and it was different. But now I feel like you just always need to give them the explanation and do the things for them, and I'm afraid, in a way, to be honest, how it's gonna end this, and how can we help them see that the world is so big and you can fulfill your dreams, but you need to do the work on you and be responsible and dedicated, and like come together with yourself and then with others that have the same dreams as you.
Well, it's a big question, right? I think whenever there's such a big question, I always come back and make it smaller and say, what's within my control and what's not within my control? And so what's within your control as a parent? And one, how do we model the behavior that we're looking for? If we are engrossed in our phone all the time or worried about what other people are doing, they will see that as well. And what are the other things that you can do as a family unit to support and encourage creativity and individualization, and supporting the things that were so critical? Like when we were young, the things that were so beautiful were playing outside, or playing with dolls, or reading books, and different things that actually use different parts of the brain, and they were less stimulating. And so we actually were able to rest in play. We were able to quiet our nervous system in play. I think a large part of the challenge is that so much is overstimulating that people's nervous systems, as we know, are very dysregulated. So bringing back more of those activities, either through rules, and maybe there's, you put the devices away, you put the TV away, and you do more things that we used to do when we were younger. Maybe it's family game night or different things like that, or going for a walk, having really good conversations, and really encouraging, I think, our kids to dream for themselves instead of being voyeurs into someone else's life. And that's through television, through the screen. And that's one of the things that we have to remind ourselves as well. We have access to the same things. And if you think about it, I always say, like, I don't really feel like there's ever competition, because there's 8 billion people on the planet, and not none of us can serve everybody. You know, the people who gravitate towards my energy or your energy, that's where the clients will come from. But even for our kids, it's like, you don't need to model someone else. You don't need to try to be someone else, because what
Mhm.
you're seeing is not an accurate representation
Yes.
anyway, right? With the edits and the filters and everything else. And I try not to actually, even my own photos and stuff, a lot of times the kids will go, I can't believe you posted that. Like, you didn't even edit it. And I say, well, yeah, because I don't want to 1 year from now look back on a photo and go, oh, I looked so much better. Why do I look so bad now? It's
Yeah.
like, no, I probably, you know, and so those are some of the just the small things, I think. And if you make those small changes over time, then I think it starts to build some new habits, some new routines, some
Mm,
new interests. But if we try to solve it at a large scale, it's very overwhelming.
yeah.
And that's like anything in life, is like, what's within my control? How do I start small? What can I do today? And then how do you build on it and just get 1% better every day?
Wow. I love everything that you said. It's, as I said, you see, like Aneta can bring it so simple, like back here, whoop, and you landed, and it was so clear. Because we tend, like, my personality and probably some of my patterns are like to, I'm getting very excited, and I love this about me so much.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like here and there and everywhere sometimes, and I'm not grounding myself enough so I can come from a place where, okay, let's see. In business, yeah, I tend to do this more and more, but sometimes with my kids, because it's like I want them to understand, and I'm just trying to explain them a lot
Yeah.
of things. And just listening to you, I was like, oh yeah. Because how can you simplify things, and what can you control? And you cannot control a lot of things, even with your kids, because this is clear for me. They are not the
Yeah.
property of nobody. They're gonna
Right.
live and be their own beings.
Mm-hmm.
But one things that I start doing was like really dream with them. Like the twins were
Mm-hmm.
so lost in like, okay, now we're gonna dream, because I used to like close my eyes. This is helping me a lot to close the eyes and
Mm-hmm.
really dream about things, vacation, whatever I want. And I wanted to do it with them like maybe 2 weeks ago. And I start saying, oh, we're gonna go there and there. Wow, I see that and that. And then they wanted, I don't know, like a toy. And I said, and I said, yeah, you can imagine that, like you can attract that. And then Valeria asked, okay, now it's gonna be here. Like the thought in her mind is gonna be here. What? How I'm gonna have it?
Yeah.
But then I explained a little bit more, and I said, okay, let's just make it fun and playful and see what's going on. Maybe it's gonna be, maybe not. We don't know that. We're just gonna hop and like really dream and have fun, and then we will see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I love it. And it's hard to parent. I mean,
yeah,
it's, all of us are, we didn't have a great manual. And, we hope to do better, a little bit better than our parents did with us,
yeah.
right? A lot better, maybe. Yeah. I hope every generation kind of figures it out a little bit faster.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then the more you allow yourself to be your true self, like you've done, and find your way back to you and do the things that you enjoy. But actually, yeah, I wanted to say this because it just came into my mind when you start talking at the beginning, that you probably, your path was to go in that career, like mine in different careers that I've been.
Yeah.
So you can really embody this masculine. That's one of your
Mm.
beautiful gifts. The gifted, like when I say, guys, the gifted masculine is like, you don't need to push, you don't need to control, because I tend to do that. So this is why I can see it so beautiful in you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just holding that, but you're firm, you're steady and firm. Hello, yoga healers. So happy to have you here. You're
Namaste.
like, namaste. It's, yeah, like you're here, and then you bring the feminine that's so loving and kind, but the masculine is there, like can hold the container. Okay, now we take action. We let the flow, but we take action and move forward. And I believe your excitement for life, and the fact that you believe that you can have the things, and just like really program in a way your mind for that, as you do with those tools at night and in the morning, is because you're so embodied and integrated. It's like, okay, you have days for sure, like everybody, but then
Oh, yeah.
you drop, and your masculine is there to hold that. And that's magnificent, in my opinion.
Oh,
How you?
well, thank you. Lots of practice. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing is like, I think over time we create this awareness, the self-awareness, and I find myself when I'm overly tired or I feel like I've got kinks or knots in my body.
Mm.
And, yesterday I got a massage, and the woman that was working on me said, "What is wrong with the, left side of your body?" She asked about the feminine energy. I said, "No, I've actually been spending some time resting, but I do think that there's probably some things that were making me tense or
Mm.
tight." So it creates an awareness, and you say, do I need more fun? Do I need more play? Do I need to
Mm.
go outside more? Do I need to go to more yoga classes? And really ask yourself those questions. Do I need more time just alone or writing? And then if I find myself unmotivated and maybe not in the feminine, in the masculine where I want to take action, I always go, is there something, is there a resistance to a belief? Is there a limiting belief or a doubt? Do I need more time and
Mm.
devotion to breathe more, to work through what might be blocking me from actually taking the action? And when you find yourself in that balance, you know that you've spent enough time in devotion, and then you're in the discipline taking the aligned. But it starts with the practices that work for you, identifying what those are, coming back to them, being consistent, and then recognizing if something's off. If you find yourself either stuck or overwhelmed, you'll know, what do I need to do more of? If I'm overwhelmed and burned out, I need more devotion. And if I'm just stuck because I, can't move forward and take action, I probably can't move to the discipline until I work through some of these limiting beliefs or something else. So that's what I found with myself, and maybe other people use different language, but like I said, I'm 51 years old, Adriana. I've been working through this stuff for a long time, and I still have many days where it doesn't work out so great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like each and every mentor or person of success in this life, doesn't matter the area, they said the same thing. You're going to
Yeah.
reach another level, is going to be the same. Like other problems in a way, other things, other patterns, limiting beliefs, stories that we have, because we have so many. And this is the beauty of a human being. It's like
Yeah.
never bored. I sometimes I'm thinking about, like, honestly, I'm thinking about this, like, I don't know if I want a life. I don't want to suffer for sure or be in pain all the time. But suffering, it's more like pain. It's real, and some situation can cause that. And the suffering,
Yeah.
it's more like the stories that we have and make in our mind that can build on that more and more. And then you're just like always in a drama or a suffering. But at every level, I'm pretty sure you're gonna touch on something. And if you have like, I wanna, I don't know, Mercedes, a new AMG right now, if I'm gonna have it, and then I wanna go on a trip, and tomorrow I'm going, and then it's gonna be really boring.
Yeah.
Like, what you gonna do? You're gonna have everything, and then what?
Yeah.
And then what's gonna happen next? It's like, this
Yeah.
is what I'm thinking sometimes. Yes, of course, I would love for the things to come, but some part of me loves for the things to come. Hello, Gand, to come easily, but part of me really, really enjoy the ride. I'm like really want to see, and this is something that I'm always saying, and it's true for me.
Yeah.
I want to see how far I can go, and I feel that I still have a long way to go. Like, I'm excited about this journey, but beauty is what I hope you took notes, everyone, because what Annette, like, really, it's, you are really dedicated and disciplined. You cannot achieve things in life and arrive of a place of peace and fulfillment, whatever that means, and feeling safe in your body, if you're not dedicated, if you
Yeah.
don't work, if you're not aware of the things. It's not like some of the entrepreneurs, or all the entrepreneurs, think at the beginning, I'm going to have free times, I can do whatever I want, and then things are not working because we are not disciplined. And in the
Yeah.
moment you like really slow down and start seeing, as she said, what's not working, why it is about my energy, limiting beliefs, I'm stuck because of what. And then it's not like being in that loop, but being aware and then really doing the things.
Yeah. And we know, think about all the times, as you said, you get something that you think you're working towards, and then you find yourself not fulfilled. And that's why it's so important to know, what are the things that really matter to me? Not
Mm.
what society says, not, the things that I'm marketed to, on social media, but what are the things that are really important? And then making sure that you make time in your life for those things. Because when you do, that's when you find the balance. That's when you find the integration. When you look at your life, your week, your days, your month, and you can look back and say, I spent time with my friends because that's important to me. I made time to have dinner with my family every night because that's important to me. I made time to take care of myself, to exercise, to meditate, to prayer, all these things. when you are so living a life filled with those things that are most important to you, you will have the integration, you will be balanced, you will be creative, you will be inspired, you will take the aligned action, and you will live a well-lived life on your terms, not on someone else's.
Yeah.
Those are different and unique for all of us. So it always goes back to ask yourself those questions first. Before you take action, ask yourself the questions and then examine and take a look and see. Like I said, I wasn't living that way for the longest time. I was like two separate people. And when you're able to build that integration, build the bridge, it changes everything. It just does. And it's not about the external achievements. It's not about the possessions. It's not about all these other things. It is the journey. It is the width of your life, not just the length of it. And you and I've talked about it. We started at the beginning. We both have had people in our lives that we've lost very young ages. And so that's not something we can control. We don't know how many days, but what we do every single day, that's really what is within our control.
Yeah. Wow. I'm going to take some notes too. After we finish, I'm going to take some notes. We are at time. I want to ask you if you still have like 2 minutes to talk about money.
Oh, yeah.
Or if not,
yeah. Oh, what are we going to cover in 2
Yeah.
minutes on money? But I know this was definitely, I do actually have time. This was something that I wanted to ask you about because when we were in our class, it was last week, and we had Raina leading, and she asked us all a question about what is money to you? And she asked us to breathe through it, and she kept going, what is money? What is money? What is money? And people would give answers, and she'd go, okay, go deeper. And do you mind sharing what you said?
No.
Because it stopped my heart. It was like, I felt that like every cell in my body when you said that.
Yeah, thank you for this question. This is something that I'm still integrating. Like I'm just gonna make like a little bit of a backstory. Like my relationship with money was, I cannot say that I was afraid or I had a lot of bad feelings around it growing up, I mean, but was always like we were a lot of time at, how can I say, we had it, but just enough, like not more. Like sometimes we didn't have them, and then I just pray to God or whatever, or my mom, and we made it to have it. But since I started this journey of like really working on myself and having the business, I realized that I wasn't afraid about money. Money is not, it's not something that I have a bad relationship with. I was more afraid of the fact that I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I'm not knowledgeable enough, at least for my business. But still something was like, lately we were in a money crunch with the house and everything. And I wanted to find some answers. And again, when you have a mentor and somebody that can really hold the space and you trust, because this is so important to feel safe in that container. And when Raina, because Raina is Raina, like she's amazing, she said, I was even jiggling in a way because I was in my head. When I closed down the eyes, I start breathing 2 times, like, and then I was in my head, and my head was saying, my mind was saying, oh, money, it's energy, money, it's blessing. But I, like, my mind believed that was okay. But then she said, like, oh, don't stop breathing. And I was laughing because I stopped breathing. I was like just contemplating in a way. And then when I start breathing, like really breathing from the mind, I could even feel like my energy dropped in the body, like from the mind right in my heart. And in my heart, because I had a lot of drama and suffering growing up, and this is true, I can feel it everywhere, that I'm just coming back to that moment. I just felt like money is me. Suffering, drama, exactly what I'm feeling, it's money. And then she was like, keep breathing, stay with it, just stay with it. And then it dropped in my solar plexus, between the solar plexus chakra and the I forgot.
Sacral?
Yeah, sacral. Just I felt the energy there, and it was, no, money is nothing. It's nothing. It's the meaning that you place on that. Oh, whew. And this is powerful because it's so true. What you have, like your mind can, go around and around and around. You have these thoughts, and then the fear, your mind sends those like powerful messages and signal into your body, and you start having those feelings in your body, and it's so visceral. I am not gonna have it. We're gonna end up I don't know where or whatever it is, and you create so many stories. But the moment you stay in stillness and you have somebody holding the space again, because this is a practice, as Aneta said, you need the community and somebody to really be there. And when you let all the noise out and you are in your body and you're like safe, your body just, the wisdom of the body is just going to say. And I'm still integrating that. And I'm still like, now when I think about money or my bank account, it's like, I'm like training myself in a way, go back to that, because I want to feel this. I don't want to let go of this feeling until it's really, really embodied in every cell of my body, to feel it's nothing. It's just whatever you want it to be, whatever you desire to be. And beauty, guys, believe me, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, it's so powerful to feel your body. I one time heard Joe Dispenza said, if you don't heal the traumas and release the energy from the body. So at the beginning is the mind that create the thoughts, and then the body takes action with whatever the signal is and the thoughts into your body. But if the body has a lot of things and you don't have the space to create and to really, like, metaphorically let the body breathe, then it's going to be the body that with all the trauma and all the charge that is going to build and run your life, actually run your life. But the more you breathe into it, you do all the things, everything that Aneta said, go out, do the things that you really enjoy, like find those things that you enjoy, and then you clear the clutter and you have the space. And when you drop in the body, it is amazing. I can say that.
And actually watching you say that, because I was going through the same experience with you. And at first, when someone asks you a question, you want to respond from your thinking mind, which are these ideas, that stories, things that you've been thinking about. It's the ego. It's very sort of driven that way. And maybe even things that we've told ourselves. So it just becomes habitual. But when she kept asking, and the longer we were breathing, and you said that, all of a sudden, it felt so true. It's like, of course, if money is validation for you, that's your definition. If money is just an exchange of energy, that's your definition. If money is status, that is going to be. So when you said it is nothing, it is what the meaning we give to it, that rang so true in my body. And then I'm still integrating it too, because this is one of those things that everybody's got some sort of a story with it. And we're definitely not going to, solve it today, but maybe another day. We'll keep talking about it.
We're going to keep talking about it, because maybe in a couple of weeks, we can see wherever we are with what we're feeling. And now it's like more, I'm taking a short program with Catherine Zenkina, that the manifestation babe, and she's really good at that. And it's like, now that money is nothing, it is whatever that I wanna, the meaning that I wanna give it. Everything that she's saying, they ring differently now. It's like, oh yeah, so I can feel and imagine, and and she gave a lot of example when she was in a restaurant, like a line of 2 hours, and she was saying that the man is going to come outside and said, a party for two, because they were a lot of groups, and the things happen exactly. And I truly believe that. Like, I truly believe in the moment you really put your mind and your intention and everything, your being, your energy, your vibration into that, and you don't expect anything, because they already decided to stay in line. It's gonna be like boom. And it's the same, and it's not easy. This is a long story, as you said, but it's the same everything, I believe. It's just like going and making it a game, as Reina said, like really seeing it as a game, like everything in life. And I had other mentors saying the same, like it's an illusion. That's true. And the matrix can be, and you can change it, and can be whatever you desire. It's not easy. Again, it's like your mind can be really tricky, and those beliefs and the stories are like, don't let me. Thank you.
So I loved our conversation, and I've loved all your conversations. I think you should continue to do these. I love these short conversations that are available, and I hope that you post them on your YouTube channel, because I would love to go back and watch all of them. I'm sure other people will too.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for support on that, probably with you or other people.
You got it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for your wisdom, your kindness, your loving energy. It was a pleasure.
Adriana. I love it. Always a pleasure. Have an amazing day.
You too. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
be here again. Bye.